At this point in your musical career, you've learned about 36 different ways of thinking about modes or using modes. And if you're in the market for a 37th, I will tell you my personal method of using modes. And if that doesn't sound interesting to you, let me tell you that my system is largely penny whistle based. And if that still doesn't make it sound interesting to you, then don't watch this video. You will be bored. You are not the audience. It's okay. Scroll. Still with me? Outstanding. Okay, so to apply my system, you need to remember this acronym, LIMdaph. The acronym stands for Lydian, Ionian, Mixolydian, Alderan, Nishak, and Abednego. You know them, you love them. Remember it in this double arc type of shape, because this shape is relevant later on. So to apply this, go to your circle of fifths and pick any single tone on the outside of the wheel. Let's start off with D. Then I want you to look at the two tone centers on the left and the right of D. So we're going to make a little pie slice out of 6 tone centers. Okay, and now here's the payoff. Apply your LIMdaph grid. Here's the secret. Every single key, every single scale, every single set of chords in this little family is the exact same set of pitches, just used in a different way or a different order. Specifically, those pitches are all natural notes except for C sharp and F sharp. C's are sharp, F's are sharp. If your scale or your melody is resolving on a D and all the pitches are natural except for C is sharp and F is sharp, that's called D Ionian. All pitches are natural except for C sharp and F sharp, and G is the resolution point, that is called G Lydian. If A is your resolution note and all pitches are natural except for C is sharp and F is sharp, A Mixolydian. If your bring it on home note was an E and all your pitches were natural except for C were sharp and F is sharp, that is E Dorian. If all of your pitches were natural except for C was sharp and F is sharp, and the bring it on home note is a B, that is a B Aeolian. And finally, if all of your notes are natural except for C is sharp and F is sharp, and you're resolving on the F sharp, welcome to F sharp Phrygian. You got it? Let's test yourself. Let's grab another slice, the one that's got E in the captain's seat. Okay, in this little LIMdaph family, we have a whopping 5 sharps. D is sharp, F is sharp, C is sharp, G is sharp. Every other note is natural. So let's say you're playing a tune, and in that tune, the F's, the C's, the G's, and the D's are all sharp, but the tune keeps resolving to a B. What mode are you in? Mixolydian. If you're playing a scale that begins and ends on an F sharp, but the F is sharp, the C is sharp, the G is sharp, and the D is sharp, what scale are you playing? F sharp Dorian. Exact same collection of pitches, just in a different order or being used differently, having a different one as its center of gravity. So what makes the LIMdaph approach penny whistle based? Well, a penny whistle is a diatonic instrument. This particular whistle, it's called a D whistle. As you just go up one tone hole at a time, you're going to hear all natural notes except for the C and the F, which will both be sharp. Because of some weird kind of physical acousto property on this thing, I can actually force the C sharp to go flat and become a C natural. So it's actually 2 collections of pitches. It is all notes natural except for C is sharp and F is sharp. But if I do this instead of this, it now becomes all notes are natural except for F is sharp. Meaning the one whistle can handle 2 different slices of LIMdaph. The one where G is the center and C is the Lydian and D is the Mixolydian. But it also can handle the entire slice of the pie where G is Lydian and A is Mixolydian and D is the Ionian. Part of what makes penny whistles so fun is you can get them in all sorts of different sizes. So while this guy is a D whistle that can handle the D slice of LIMdaph and the G slice of LIMdaph, this is a C penny whistle. The lowest note on it is a C. So it can handle the C slice and the slice that has F at its center, no problem. Okay, there's one important bit that I've glanced over so far, which is how do you know what is the set of pitches that belong to each LIMdaph slice family? C Lydian, G Ionian, D Mixolydian, A Dorian, E Aeolian, and B Phrygian are all the same collection of pitches, but how do you know what that collection entails? There are quite a few ways to figure that out, but all of the ones that I know are pretty ugly and weird, so I'm just going to give you a shortcut. Mankind's greatest universal shortcut of the modern era, which is just like Google it. Find you a circle of fifths that has the key signatures written on it, and then just remember that you're going to use the signature of whoever is sitting in the Ionian seat. So you can see in this circle of fifths that G Ionian is all naturals except for F is sharp. Therefore, C Lydian is beginning and ending on a C. All notes are natural except for F is sharp. D Mixolydian, resolving on a D. All notes are natural except for F is sharp. A Dorian, A is the bring it on home note. All notes are natural except for F is sharp. E Aeolian, F is sharp, everything else is natural, and we're using E as our tonal center. And B Phrygian, all notes natural, F is sharp, and B is our tonal center. Final note, I didn't talk about Locrian because we don't talk about Bruno. Locrian is kind of like a theoretical mode that's just there to like make the math work out correctly. You don't need to worry about it. You can just pretend that the Locrian doesn't exist like the rest of us and you'll still be there. So if any of that didn't make sense or is too murky, leave me a comment or a stitch. I'm happy to talk about it more. Like I said, there's lots of different ways of thinking about modes. There's lots of different ways of using them. This is just like a tailor-made specialty thing that I kind of stumbled into because of the music I play, the repertoire I'm familiar with, what I like doing with it. There's no reason that you got to learn it. But if you feel like it could be useful for your purposes, I'm happy to talk more about it.